let's fill a circle with satin stitch. So we're going to do a series of stitches that start along the top side of the circle and finish on the bottom. They'll all be on the same angle. This time though, we're going to start in the middle and work our way to the right, and then we'll section off the left-hand side. So let's get started. So first of all, add your directional lines. As we've already done here, I've got it split into quarters with 3 lines. Bring your needle up in the center of the circle. So at the top of that middle directional line, pull your thread through so that all the working thread is through to the front and you're not securing your stitch at the back. Okay, now poke your needle down at the other side of that directional line down the middle, so at the bottom of the circle, and just gently pull through all of your working thread so that you've got a nice stitch hanging out down the middle of your circle. Now let's move our way to the right. So I'm going to bring my needle up just to the right along the top of the circle, and then I'll poke it down just to the right of that first stitch on the bottom side of the circle, the bottom edge. And then I'll draw through all that working thread, and I've got 2 stitches now. That stitch that I just did ended up a little bit twisted as I laid it down, so I'm just going to draw some more slack into it, and then I'll pull it through again. Oh, and there we go. That's sitting a little bit flatter. Okay, so keep working your way out towards the right, always bringing your needle up on the top edge and poking it down on the bottom edge, following that curved shape of the circle. So the aim is to always lay a stitch that's sitting nice and flush with the one previous. As you go, you can really use your directional lines for guidance to keep straight. I think my last stitch was slightly in, so I'm just going to do this one and make sure it's sitting really nicely along that directional line. Sometimes you just have to try a few times before you think you're in the right spot to poke your needle down. That's looking good. Now, what you'll notice as you work your way towards the right is that your stitches will be getting shorter and shorter as you follow that curved outline of the circle, and that's what we want. So as I'm getting right out to the side, I'm just going to finish with one reasonably short stitch, just to finish off the right hand side of the circle. And there we go. Alright, so now we need to fill in the other side of the circle. So you could start filling your stitches from the center out towards the left. I normally find it easier to stitch from left to right. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to work a stitch down that directional line there. And now I'll fill my way back towards the middle. And if you are finding it really hard to place your stitches, do not worry. Like, as a beginner, satin stitch can actually be really challenging. And you might find your stitches aren't lining up beautifully with each other. In fact, it'd be very surprising if that did happen while you're still a beginner. So just please focus on progress over perfection. Filling in the shape with stitches is the goal. They do not need to be perfect. And satin stitch will definitely get easier the more patterns that you make. Alright, so I've filled in most of the circle now. Now for this last little section on the left, I am going to go from the middle of the circle out towards the left. I think I'll only need 2 stitches here. And just remember, they're getting shorter because I'm at the I'm following that curved shape of the circle. We possibly don't even need one on the left there, but I'll just do a really short one, and I'm actually going to tuck it in quite close to the left to the previous stitch. One little strand hasn't tucked in quite as well. Cool. And then once you've done it, you can actually use the blunt end of a needle. You can go like this to just smooth out your stitches. But hey, I'm sure it looks great no matter what. And that's how we stitch a circle.